What's up guys, Dante back here with another breakdown video talking about Quentin Tarantino's 9th studio film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So yeah, let's jump right in. Now, this one is pretty interesting. I don't know what to expect from watching the trailers. You know, it just seemed like a mashup of different periods in time regarding, Hollywood. So I went to the theater with pretty much no expectations. Got my blue Slurpee, waited for the show. Side note, I wish I got a popcorn, after the movie. I don't know, it had that popcorn feeling, so I recommend that. So here we go, let's get started with the characters and how they were played out. We'll start with Leonardo DiCaprio. He plays a hothead cowboy by the name of Rick Dalton. We see DiCaprio play a man who was once the star of the big screen to now scoring lower acting jobs he thinks are beneath him. Leo goes all out as a Hollywood actor stereotype. I mean, it's super authentic and really enjoyable. His character doesn't have the most depth like his previous character in Tarantino film, Django, but he really doesn't need it. I mean, he's kind of just a man on a mission. In this film, Tarantino allowed him to play many different roles, all in one, which must have been a pretty good treat for Leo, to play a soldier, a cowboy, a secret agent. So overall, Leo did his thing as he usually does. He even inspired myself a little bit. His authenticity is pretty motivating.
Time, weather, and...
Now for Big Bad Cliff Booth. Brad Pitt was the badass in this one. Really no one compared to him in that aspect. First off, he was jacked. I mean, he really looked the part. He seemed unbeatable. So yeah, he played Rick's stunt double and best friend. The whole thing was pretty believable, even though they looked nothing alike. Their friendship made it seem possible. Two ends of the spectrum. Cliff was the kind of guy who seemed like he was nice only because he could also be a badass. Like if you flipped a switch, he could turn into a demon or some ass-kicking machine. My example would be the Charles Manson Ranch, which he just waltzed right in there. I mean, I would have been out. All them hippies surrounding me, he was outnumbered. Just a vibe I got. Nope. Cliff just seemed like he was living out his days doing whatever it popped up, no fear. They said he was a soldier in the film, so I'm sure that had a big part to do with it. So yeah, with Brad being older these days too, it just felt right. His character was pretty experienced. He always knew exactly what to say. As for the others, the movie doesn't really have any other main characters in my opinion. It's not like Pulp Fiction where we have multiple stories throughout the entire film. More so just random moments. That's why the title kind of fits perfectly. It's just Once Upon a Time. So as for Margot Robbie, who plays Sharon Tate, she barely spoke. I mean, her presence was way more important. Most of her scenes were her just glowing and smiling and dancing, to be honest. Others like Al Pacino had some good dialogue and helped guide the movie. It was good seeing him on screen. I mean, he's just a legend. There's nothing really you can take away except for that. I don't even remember the last film I've seen him in, to be honest. He's kind of just a funny old man who is in a position to where he can do whatever the hell he wants these days. Now for Bruce Lee, this was something I did anticipate. How the hell are they going to do Bruce Lee justice? And why the hell is Bruce Lee in this movie? So the first question is how? And the answer kind of is, let's drown out his acting with all typical Bruce Lee animations and tics. So from the glasses to holding his hands like a conductor to squeezing his fist while he talks. I mean, honestly, overall it worked. I was pretty hypnotized during his scenes because I wanted to see the real Bruce Lee so bad, as we all do. So his physical performance was an A. As for his dialogue, I was really stunned for a sec. They made Bruce Lee seem like an asshole. I've never seen this version before. We kind of have this humble, tranquil idea of him, like he's, a Shaolin monk mixed in with a super soldier. But this was more of him using his quote-unquote power for his benefit. He was really cocky, and we've known him to be cocky, but this was to the extreme. So I didn't hate it, it just threw me off. The real question is, who was Bruce Lee in real life? That's what I don't know if Tarantino was hinting at or not. And that'll really fuck with you, honestly. So I hope my whole life is not a lie. But yeah, back to my second, or actually third question now, is why is he in the movie? No crazy plot point here, it's simply because Tarantino wanted him to be in it. It was kind of like a cameo. And since it's around this time, it's like, why the hell not? Let's add Bruce Lee. So that's the breakdown of the characters and performances. As for the story, it was pretty cohesive. Not too many time jumps in this one. It's fairly in order and easy to sit through. A big takeaway was the shot selection in the movie. The close-up scenes especially. Tarantino never disappoints with the dialogue, but this was also one of his funnier movies. Maybe because it has a bit more realism, and that's funnier than fiction. A lot of the movie pays off too. When you want or don't want a character to go through something, it usually turns out rather okay than a bogus twist. So you can appreciate that. The ending, well, this was actually a shock. To dive into the ending when Cliff and Rick get home to celebrate 9 years together, it is the same night that Sharon Tate, aka Margot Robbie, is about to get murdered. So we thought. The entire movie I was anticipating this. I thought that was her only reason for being in the film. Truly, I was just sitting back waiting for her to get murdered, and when I saw she was pregnant, I thought it was going to come up in a matter of moments. So we know in real life the actor was murdered by, the Charles Manson goons. But instead, Tarantino creates his own fate for Sharon Tate, one that doesn't involve her being harmed in any kind of way. Instead of her home being broken into, it's Rick's. It's Rick's, aka Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a scene that ends in true Tarantino fashion. Brad Pitt just bashing the murderers' faces in. It's short-lived, but pretty memorable if you can see the film. So once again, he changes history, just like Inglourious Basterds with Hitler's death. All I could think about after was the connection between Tarantino and Sharon Tate. Maybe he was a true fan and wanted to change history, and he saw this opportunity. Like he felt bad for her in a way, and made that scene to kind of make up for her life being short-lived. I don't know, it's a blur. I'm curious as to how much emphasis to put in the ending. I mean, it kind of just ends, So yeah, definitely interesting and worth checking out. If you're a filmmaker, I'm sure you'll walk out 2 hours and 45 minutes later pretty inspired. It gives you a brief look into Hollywood and kind of what the actors go through. I think this film will look good in Tarantino's catalog overall. So go check it out, guys. Thanks for listening. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We are seriously on the rise here and appreciate any form of support. And yeah, until next time.